Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio is back with our 2025 champions. That's right, the Parade of Champions continues as we go back and hear the stories from the Mission Food Series, from the Lucas Oil Series, and try very hard before the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals to connect with as many champions as is possible. And it has been amazing to hear the stories. You know, you think about as we get close to the Super Bowl and any team that wins a championship, all that goes in it, the hard work, the effort, the resources, the money, the travel. In drag racing, it's the same. It's the same. People have to make sacrifices. They've got to get to certain places. They've got to put things aside. And when you are crowned a champion in the NHRA, it is a huge, huge deal. One of my favorite categories of Lucas Oil Series action is Stock Eliminator. Russ Bubba Linke from New Jersey got the job done. Everybody fell in love with this guy at the awards banquet and just the way he handled himself over the course of the season. And he joins us now from what appears to be a bitter cold New Jersey. What's up, Bubba? How are you? Congratulations.
Very good. Thank you.
It looks like what do you do? You're a landscaper, right? So you're now off the clock.
Yeah, I got a couple months off unless it snows and we got to do some snow removal or salting or whatnot. But no, nothing till usually end of March, April.
That's good for a drag racer, though. Do you keep the car at your house and do you tinker?
I don't tinker much, but yeah, it's normally at the house. It's currently in Massachusetts right now. But
okay, what's happening with the car?
I don't know if you remember, I made a comment about how I had to have a cage put in it towards the end of the year, and
yes.
It was done in a rush. So my buddy Steve from Portatree is gonna attempt to do it right now, and now that he has time, more than a couple days. So
Stephen Smith, Allie's brother.
Yeah, Allie's brother.
Yeah, Allie's bro, right? He poor kid, right? He's always Allie's bro. That's what happens when your sister is a world champion and electrical engineer. So let's get to know you a little bit. You've been racing a long time. I first kind of became aware of you and your beautiful Camaro, wheels up starts, all that stuff. When I started going to Englishtown a few years ago. We could start there. You're like the quintessential Englishtown Northeastern class racer. How did you get into this? Who dragged you into the world of drag racing and put this passion into you?
My dad and uncle have raced super stock for, I don't even know, 30, 40 years. So, you get dragged to the track enough, you get hooked on it. The speed, the noise, it's all addictive.
It really is. It really is. We're not supposed to say that stuff, but anything that you love, that's what it is. You love. And tell me a little bit about your car, Gen 4 Camaro. You got an LT in there, right? What's under the hood?
Correct. LT by LT1 350, done by Warren Engines, Jeff, okay. Joey, Bobby. I don't know if Joel does much anymore, but yeah, the whole Warren family.
All right. How'd you get hooked up with them?
Long story short, I got my butt kicked in Charlotte. I don't remember how many, 15 years ago when I first got the car, and just asked who the heck does that guy's motors. And that was it. Been with Warren since I think like 08 or 09. somewhere
Wow.
around there when I got the car.
And that's the heads up part of class racing that we all love and try very hard to explain to everybody that, yeah, once we're in eliminations, we're bracket racing, but every once in a while, you got to run into one of those heads ups. And that's what separates it from regular bracket racing. How would you explain it to people?
That's the expensive part. That's the best way to word it.
Yeah, I get it. All right. So let's go back to the start of the season. Do you leave your house for the first race thinking I'm going to go try to win a world championship, or are you just like going to the racetrack, see how you do? Like, what was the attitude at the start of 2025?
Honestly, the start of 2025 was the Skag shootout that was down in Bradenton.
Yes.
I think that was the second year they've done it, and didn't go last year because I think it was, I could be wrong. I think it was invite only or something along those lines, but I was excited when I heard they were doing it again. So I made some calls and try to find out if it was invite only, or I don't know if it was or not, but they took my money. So I went down there, had a horrible showing. I took my dad's car as well. I know we had I want to say it was first round in both. So that was great start to the year.
Nice vacation to Florida, though, in the cold weather.
20 hours from home and lose first round, but is what it is. And then left my stuff down there. Went to Gainesville. Got cracked first round by my best friend in stock during the Baby Gators.
Who is that?
Shane Oakes.
Okay.
And stock was actually full, so I had to enter super stock for the Gators the week after. And I think I got cracked second round there. So it was really a great start to
hot start to 2025. You're like a lightning bolt out there. 3 races, second round is the furthest you got. In that moment, are you getting discouraged, or are you just like, those are the breaks?
I was very close to, yeah. Because in addition to that, I came home and there was a 3-day, I don't remember if it was 310 granders or something, a foot brake race down at MIR. I went to that, and same thing with buybacks. I don't think I got past second or third round, all 3 races. And I even told my girlfriend, I'm like, this isn't a good start. Like I might take a couple months off and just whatever, breathe. But the next race after that was Charlotte, where I ended up winning it. So, could easy a flip of a coin apparently to turn the season around.
Wow, that is wild. And that's drag racing, thousandths of a second. There's no explanation why things go your way or don't go your way. So the Charlotte win, and anecdotally, I feel like you do pretty well at Charlotte. Like I've seen you go many rounds.
I think so. I mean, to me, Charlotte is one of the tougher races, I feel like, because they never seem to take a lot of cars. And when you look at the entry list, it's all heavy hitters. I don't know if it's because it's the beginning of the year. And then obviously, if you go to the one at the end of the year, it's everyone that's chasing points. So, or for the most part, anyone in the area. But I don't know. I don't really keep good track. So I know I won last year there, but run it up there once to my engine builder's kid a few years back. Other than that, I don't try not to remember losses.
Okay. That's an interesting attitude, because I'll have a lot of racers tell me, they don't remember the wins. They only remember the losses, and they're mad about them, like, oh man, if I had only, or that's the one that got away. You kind of approach it a little bit differently. You just let it go.
No, I shouldn't say that. I mean, it dwindles on me for a long time, but it's also a year later, and I have the attention span of a gnat. So, no, now I don't. It doesn't matter.
All right. So your awards speech was hysterical. You the self-deprecating humor, right? You take a lot of shots at yourself for fun, but I know that can't be true. Like you can't, you got to be pretty sharp to be a world champ.
I don't know, because I was so nervous doing the speech. Just like I told you, I'm not a fan of this, but here we are. So I honestly don't even remember what stuff I talked about during the speech. That was just staring into a crowd of people, nervous as hell.
It was great. You did great. All right. So you win Charlotte. We'll get to the speech in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You win Charlotte. Just take me through the season from that point, because it was an upward trajectory until the point that you're on the tractor getting ready to find out you won. But I want to know about that moment, but lead me up to that. Just kind of tell me what happened to the point to get you, because you were one of the earliest champions of the season. People getting eliminated. You were back home. You didn't go west. You had to go get tickets to fly out west to be a part of the championship banquet, all that. But after the Charlotte win, just walk me through your season, because you put up a nice total, well into the 600, I think 677 or something, like a really good points total. So tell me about it.
Well, after Charlotte, I remember there was plenty of people told me my car was smoking real bad at half track. I had no idea what that was yet, but so not what you'd think would normally happen, but come home from a win at a national, yank that motor out and put the other one in because I wasn't sure if something was wrong. But as doing that, I found it ended up just being the trans overflow line. So that made me feel a lot better. At least I got the other motor still sitting in the garage with only 30, 40 runs on it. We left there. I have no idea where I went and when. I think Maple Grove is usually our first points race, Memorial Day. Don't know how I did there. I'm sorry, I'm not good at, I don't remember much of anything. Like when I looked at the points total, that's when I try to picture it and be like, oh yeah, I lost Mr. Costello at that race, but
that's interesting. All right. So you know what? Your brain and my brain kind of work the similar, because people will tell me, like, do you remember what happened last round? And I'm like, no, I remember what happens right now. And I'm working on what's happening next, not the last round. I have got the NHRA.com story right here. And we can go right into it, because I want to hear about some of these moments. And it's really interesting. And who did this story, right? Let's see. It was Kevin McKenna, right? You know, K-Mac?
Name sounds, I think he called me or something at the end of the year. But yeah,
exactly. In a sport where timing is everything, Linke's timing couldn't have been better. Thrust in the middle of a multi-way battle for the championship mid-season, Linke took the ball and ran with it, finishing his season with a win, a runner-up, a semifinal to clinch the championship. Late in the season, with your scorecard complete, you could have headed west, but you didn't. And so you've had a couple of big wins. That 677 is huge. Tell me about being on the tractor and learning you are a champion. Like, you're working, so you're not really thinking about racing, but somehow you got the word. What was that like?
Oh, that was unreal. I mean, obviously a lot of people were saying I have a good chance with the points and with what people had to achieve to catch me. And then you get other people saying, you know, whatever you just said, I had 670 or
677. You beat Strickland. You know, he's pretty good by 22 points.
Okay. Either way, I was told, you know, you're not looking too good unless you're in the 700s, I thought. But I wouldn't know. I don't usually follow points too much, but unless I'm in the hunt, obviously. But yeah, no, I just, like I had told whoever the first time, my phone started blowing up, and then I stopped and actually looked, and somebody sent me the live timing to whichever Chris Hall beat Mr. Rizzoli, I think was the one that finished it. Because I didn't believe it, but not that I don't know either of them, honestly, you know what I mean? But
sure,
just the unbelievable part that it actually happened is what I meant. I'm not dissing neither of them.
Oh, I know that. Parker Theobald and Kyle both made late season runs, you know, and that's the whole point of it, that the East Coast can finish differently than the West Coast, and you're building these points totals, and that's what hopefully our fans of Nitro understand. That's why it's a little easier to run in the Lucas Oil Series. You're not running 20 races. You're picking your best of a sample size. And when those guys went down, you were the champion. And how did that wash over you? Like, I don't want to say you don't seem like the kind of guy that cares. You definitely care, but that's a big moment from guy on tractor to NHRA World Champion from 1 minute to the next.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you worded it that way, because a lot of people tell me I don't care about a lot of things. I know I don't for certain things, but obviously that was pretty big. So that was really cool to get that news. But I don't know, just year's over, start over now.
Wow, that is kind of cool. All right, so you have a unique attitude. I think you know that. Is that developed from? Is that the East Coast way? Is that Jersey? Is that the fam? Like, take it easy, like steady Eddie, or highs not too high, lows not too low?
Definitely not the family. I think I'm the weirdo, I guess, that takes everything lightly out of the family. But
okay,
yeah, no explanation. That's just me, I guess.
That's great. But you're going to see a comedy show, right? Later, you told me, like, so you're into that. You like to laugh.
Yeah, that was a Christmas present from my girlfriend and my Shane's wife, Sarah. So the four of us plus our other friend, Brian Valentine. I don't know if you met him, but the five of us are going. I think it's in Philly. I'm not sure. So like an hour and a half away.
That's cool. All right, that's happening later on. And for those that we're talking behind the scenes stuff here, Bubba and I were trying to knock down the schedule for this interview, right? And he had a couple of things going. So now you're world champ. All of a sudden, you had a little bit of time, but you got to go to Pomona. You got to get tickets. The family's going. Walk me through that. And I'm picking up. You're kind of a no nonsense character, which I admire. But now you got to go through this tuxedos and the family and the banquet. And, I don't know, part of me thinks maybe you didn't even want to
go. That was partially true, but I want to say even Mr. Cagnazzi at the last race, when I ran him in the final, that was the makeup from Virginia. I think I want to say the round before that was when I had taken the lead, and he was the one that told me, don't do that, you have to go. So, we did. And that was a little hectic trying to plan everything somewhat last minute, but I don't think I planned much. I paid for some, but kept it pretty easy. I left that to the same thing. My girlfriend, other people, just handle this and let me know what I owe you.
Hey, you got a staff. That's great. You got a staff. They know what they're dealing with. All right, let's talk a little bit about those folks though, because what I noticed is, so we did an interview on the red carpet. It was hastily thrown together because of the weather situation. And here we are at the In-N-Out Burger finals, and Doug Coletta is becoming champion, and there's Austin Prout. Like they kind of had pulled the plug, and now everyone on the media side is realizing, like, we got to get these guys on film. We need an interview. We need some photos. You got to get in there, and they're rushing you guys around. Can you describe that? Like, because that was hectic for me, and I'm used to it. And so here you are. It's kind of funny if you think about it, thrust into this really extremely chaotic situation. So I'm curious about how you experienced it.
I mean, the plans changed a few times throughout that trip, obviously, just because of the rain out and what happened at the last race there. But like, I know I was supposed to try to be there on Saturday originally, because that's where the Tux guy goes to the track, and they said they could fit us there at the track. And then that changed, and then I was supposed to be there at some point Sunday morning, because Mr. Galvin said they have like a little thing for all the champions go up on stage or something. That didn't happen. And he said, well, maybe it's later in the day. And then obviously then they pulled the plug on the whole race. So the coolest part was, because we thought I've never been to Pomona, never been west of Chicago or Belrose, I think, racing wise. And the one neat thing was I got to actually race on the track, even though nobody else did that weekend, because me and my one buddy had a foot race. My buddy Russ Kent from Carolina. So that was cool.
I know Russ. He has a little bit of a, I would say, a size advantage when it comes to foot speed. How'd that race go?
There was no timing system, but I think I got him.
Okay. All right. I know Russ. Russ is a good guy, and that's cool. Well, it sounds like you had fun. It was tough for all of us to not be able to get out there and race. You met Carducci, though. That's an experience into itself. The Tux guy, Carducci. He's a character. What was that like?
It was neat. I mean, once again, same thing. We were only there 20 minutes, a half hour for all 7 of us. So, but he was a nice guy. Bunch of people told me to make sure you tell him, Mr. LeBouse, I forget everyone. Oh, tell him I said hi. Tell him, hope to see him again. But no, he was nice.
Yeah, he's a interesting character. That's what he does. He does Carducci. He does all the tuxes for everybody for the most part. I mean, hundreds of them. And he, fits you and sends you out the door in about 15, 20 minutes. And that's why we love him. Those people that were at the awards banquet, at your table, whistling and cheering you on, your staff, if you will. And I hope they get that I'm making a joke there when they say that. But what I noticed is that, they know that that's not your thing. Everybody knows that's not your thing, to go up and to give a speech. But you did a great job. I watched several of the speeches. I had other things going on, so I was coming and going. But I watched your whole speech. And I thought you had natural comedic timing. Even in like fighting your way through an uncomfortable situation, you were saying funny things, and you were like, you were really good. And I don't know if you believe that or not, but this group of people, your fam, your friends, the people that were there, they were like cheering you on, willing you through it, laughing you through it. Can you talk about that group of people that supports you, your support group, your friends like this, your fam, your girlfriend, how they like pushed you and helped you through this experience? Because I know I could tell it was tough, but you did a great job.
Well, I wasn't trying to be funny by any means. I just doing whatever I could to get through it. And then once somebody sent it to me, and I couldn't believe that I was up there talking for 10 minutes. It felt like 30 seconds of torture. But like everyone's telling me you got to write a speech. You got to write a speech. All I had was a list of people, just so I didn't want to forget who to thank. That was the biggest thing, because you're up there in front of everyone. All I'm thinking is it over yet? Is it over yet? But I didn't want to be an ass and miss anybody and I almost did. One of the friends that was Brian Valentine, who was at the table with us, luckily Shane or his wife yelled up to me. So I remembered to thank him. And he's one of the faces I was staring at. I still didn't even think of him, but my bad. Sorry, Brian.
No, Brian knows that because you guys are so close, that he is that's how it is with the fam, the family and the closest friends. They're the ones who do get skipped over, because it's, deep down, it's okay. Like, he knows you appreciate him. But everybody else, like those people who give you money to race, or parts or pieces or tires or fuel or whatever, you gotta thank those people. Those are the ones you got to thank. Well, listen, Bubba, you did a great job. I think it was great. I enjoyed it greatly. And so, the next time, hopefully it'll be a little easier. So let's talk a little bit about no, it's not going to be easy.
No, it will not.
It will not. But you would like to win another championship in spite of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't?
Right. So
I never thought I would. So.
What's the plan for next year? Like, you never thought you'd need like champion Bubba Linke. That genuinely didn't cross your mind. You weren't one of those kids like dreaming of winning a world championship. What is that? Not competitive. I mean, love racing. So you're racing and the results are the results, or are you there for results to compete? You know what I mean? That's a different creature.
I'd say I'm more there to have fun, have a good time, which any of my close friends know we always do. or even not so close friends. Anyone that parks next to us usually knows we do. But no, I mean, I don't. There's just a huge goal would have always been to win the division, which coincidentally that happened too, which is awesome. But the world I never thought was, never even crossed my mind, just because I just assumed, you got to travel a lot. I never know what races I can hit. I don't even know where I'm going half the time. I usually, if work's okay, then check the schedule and say, all right, I guess I'm going to this one. So, yeah.
That's great, though. That's great.
I don't usually have a plan.
See, I'm choosing to look at this through the eyes of someone who might want to do it, and they're hearing you and saying, man, this guy is just kind of pig in a poke, going when he can, not this tremendous preseason commitment of travel. And he ended up a world champion. That, I think that could inspire some people to do it, to chase some points and see what happens.
Yeah, it definitely proved that anything could happen. That's for sure. Because the only race that I actually went to that was not, I shouldn't say wasn't planned, but the only race I went to that I was not planning on going was the second Charlotte. And that was just because it was still a long shot. I think I had to go to the semis or something to improve points. But if I didn't go there was no other nationals within, I don't know, a day or two drive left. So
right.
I had to give that a shot, and it didn't work. I got beat by Steve Foley, also Engine Builder's family member, second round. So awesome. Another good turnout.
Those Warren guys got after you.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome, Warren guys. He won the world championship. He's getting you all the pub this year. And you kicked his tail up and down the East Coast from Florida to Charlotte. Who made that call, though? Are you strategizing on your own points? Like, I have to go here. Or is it your friends? Because I know you got a tight crew over there and they're motivating. Like, you got to go, Bubba.
No, that was friends. I wasn't going to Charlotte either. The second one. The first one, obviously, that was my choice because nothing had happened at that point yet. That just worked out good that we ended up winning. And I know that one was a cluster as well because there were some timing issues. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that. It was a major bummer situation, and I saw the anguish on my friends who are responsible for that stuff. Just trying to sort it all out. That was a very difficult moment.
Like I don't remember which. It might have been third round or fourth round or second round. Couldn't tell you, but one of them I had to run Dan Fletcher, which everyone knows Dan, obviously, and we were up in the lanes 2-3 pair away from running 3 separate times, as if that's not enough pressure, is running him. And then I got to line up against him again, and then line up against him again, and line up against him again. And then, just got lucky, because that's how I feel anytime you race people like Dan. If you win, you just got lucky. But didn't help with the pressure with the timing issues.
I don't know. Maybe running him all those times helped you. Like kind of took the edge off because it keeps happening over and over and over. Who knows? All right, Bubba, who do you want to thank? This is going to be on the web as long as there's electricity. So, this is the time to shout out to and I don't expect you to have a list. Just do your best. Warren Racing Engines, for instance. Who do you want to thank for helping you along the way to win this world championship here in 2025?
Good, because I do not have a list.
Yeah.
Just because you brought them up first, so everyone at Warren Engines, they're the best. I love them. Always there for me when I need them. If I'm in a pinch, even though I have a spare, but God forbid I got an issue with both of my motors, they turn it around as quick as they can for me. So that's nice. Jack and Katie Sapanik at Sapanik Trans. Got Jason Cohn at Cohn Converters. He helped me out a bunch this year. That was really nice. That's really it for the drivetrain and car. Chevy and Qualified Landscaping, I guess. That's the main sponsor.
And that's you, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
Wish there was somebody else on there because
stuff
does get expensive, but
it does. It does. So what do you do? Like, give me an example of like a day for Bubba. Like, are you doing like malls? Are you doing houses? Are you putting in mulch? Are you putting in giant trees? Give me a little insight.
It's depends on the time of the year, but for the most part, we mostly just do a lot of maintenance, like just the weekly maintenance stuff. Like beginning of the year, yeah, it's all cleanups and mulch. I wish it was a lot more commercial properties, but it's mainly residential. I'd probably only maybe 15% commercial, just because commercial's the way to go. You don't get the everyday people bitching at stupid things. But
welcome to the world, right? Homeowners.
Yeah.
My dad was in construction, same deal. Homeowner work, tough. Commercial work, tough in a different way, but much better. That is cool. All right, on the side of the car, real quick. Daddy did it, Blake. It's in the National Dragster story. What about that? Tell me a little bit about Blake and that message.
That's just he's my 6-year-old son. I think he likes it. I've only been able to bring him to the track a couple times, and he seems like he has a lot of fun. So I just wanted something so he'd know, like if it made it into Dragster or something or online, at least I could show him, like, hey, look, you made it in the whatever, you made it online, or you made it in the newspaper or magazine or whatever the heck you want to call it. So it was just more so he could know, I'm thinking of him.
Do you want him to like drag racing? Like follow it? Like everybody I know in drag racing kind of treats drag racing like it's an addiction. like hey man, like we don't want to bring you into this world because you're going to like it, and if you like it, then for the rest of your life you're going to be chasing, there's a good chance you'll be chasing this, right? So a lot of the parents I know are like with drag racing, and then there's the other style with the junior dragsters that are like, get in there, kid.
Yeah, I'm hoping he'd want to do it, but at the same token, I did juniors for a few years. I was horrible at it. I wouldn't even say I really enjoyed it that much. I loved it because I got to go with my dad and my uncle and my cousin and stuff like that, but it's hard to love something when you suck at it,
I don't understand how that's possible, coming on to be a world champ, other than maybe you're just a door slammer guy.
I don't know. That's funny because I've been I thought about that too. I'd like to see if I can find somebody to let me squeeze into a dragster to see if I like it, because obviously there's a ton of big money races everywhere, but just never got the opportunity. And if I don't care. I have my car, but just something, to broaden the horizons it just seems like there's a lot more money races to be able to take a shot at it. That's all.
Attention in the pits, Stock Eliminator World Champion looking for a dragster big money bracket ride. If you're out there, contact Bubba Linke. All right, one final thing, by the way. Extra wide. Yeah, they're out there. There's a lot of big boys that are out there running in these very fast dragsters. That's not an issue anymore. You're an E-Town guy, and I just want to ask you about this, right? Englishtown, because as a kid, the Christmas tree behind me, I don't know if you can see it. Miami Hollywood Speedway, my home track, 15 minutes, got me into this. I loved it. I love it. And it went away. It's now houses. It's gone. You still got it there. You live minutes from Englishtown, and I saw hundreds of drag racers give it up permanently when our track closed. They said, never again, not that. I'm going to go buy a boat or golf clubs, whatever. You stuck with it, Bubba. Like, you stuck with it. And that's tough because you had convenience. You had a national event 15 minutes from your house. I don't know, but close. And now you don't. What that drive to keep going, I admire it. That's pretty much what I'm saying.
Well, honestly, I didn't really race at Englishtown much, even though it was only 4 minutes away. Because for that fact, we had the national and we had the divisional, but just with their weekly schedule, I usually wasn't able to even get there with work for their Wednesday night program. I'd go there to test sometimes, but like we had a Stock Super Stock Association that Dave Lay used to own, and now Rob Keister took it over, but all those primarily were always at ACO. So I felt like I was at ACO 90% of the time compared to the 10% of the time at Englishtown, even though it's around the corner, literally.
Interesting. Well, passion for drag racing. You got to go where you got to go. ACO is another story. Bubba, thank you. Thank you. I know this ain't your thing, but I think you did a great job, and I appreciate it. And, you know, you're documented, and not everybody is, Ron Capps with the media, right? But drag racers are drag racers. You got the same passion. You're out there chasing. Speaking of which, 75th season of NHRA. Do you got a plan? I mean, you don't have a plan. I know you don't have a plan, but I know you're going to run some races. So what's the first race we're going to see you at?
I'd like to go to Gainesville. As of right now, I'm planning on going to Gainesville, but we'll see what happens with the weather and work and whatnot. But after that, I didn't look. I don't know what the schedule shows, or, obviously things keep changing back and forth with different tracks and whatnot. So yeah, after Gainesville, it was brought to my attention. I think it was a Sports National. I was talking to Charlie Bob a few weeks ago from Michigan, and he said Bowling Green has something, I think, Memorial Day weekend. I'm not sure. And that sounded enticing until I looked it up, and that's 12 or 13 hours away. So I don't think that's going to happen either.
It's a long toe in. I did a 12-hour for the first time in my life last year as I tried to do a little super street racing. And oh man, that's by myself, that's not easy. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, once I did it one time, I now know I could do it again if I had to, but it's it's not fun. Certainly not as much fun as driving the race car. Thank you so much for making the time for us here today. I appreciate it greatly. I love your story. I know you got a big support system, talking to a lot of people about you at PRI, and just we all loved your speech. Like, I think you did a great job. I encourage the audience to go out there and check it out. You did a great job, and I wish you good luck in 2026. You never know. You can do it again. It can happen.
I doubt it, but we'll see.
That's the attitude that got you the first one. So keep it going.
Good call.
There you go. All right, Bubba. Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a good one. Thanks.
There he goes. Bubba Linke with us here on WFO Radio. Stock Eliminator World Champion coming out of Old Bridge, New Jersey. And he got it done. And that's NHRA drag racing for you. Not a plan. Says he's got attention span of a gnat. Yeah, right. Inside, things are working at a different pace. I love it. And one of our Lucas Oil Series racers. And so very excited to have Bubba on the show, and I greatly appreciate him taking the time with us here on WFO Radio. All right, we're going to make some final comments. When we return, talk a little bit about our Lucas Oil Parade of Champions and the 75th season of NHRA, all happening right after this.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod Driveline Components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
Welcome back to WFO Radio, our Parade of Champions. If you're a first-time viewer, I ask you to subscribe and click the bell if you're watching on the YouTube or Facebook. Obviously, follow our page, WFO Radio NHRA Drag Racing Podcast. It's a very long name, but you know what it is. We've got a WFO group on Facebook, which is actually very nice. Very nice. A lot of people, positive people. We try to keep it positive, we try to avoid, any like real negative back and forth type things as best as we can, certainly. And you can follow me, WFO Joe, on Instagram and on Twitter at WFO Joe. But in the end, it's all about the podcast feed, right? It's about getting to know Russ Linke and the people behind the scenes at NHRA drag racing, these athletes, this sport. Not all athletes are, dunking basketballs and scoring touchdowns. There are people who invest. Like, he's got a huge investment in his racing operation, in his car. And, he might undersell it a little bit. But dude just won the world. He is a world champion in drag racing. Now, if you're in Australia, my Australian listeners, no, man, you got to come to the United States of America and run stock eliminator. Sorry, you guys don't have it there. So it's still the world champion. That's the way I look at it. And a lot of racers, we'll call it a national champion. You could certainly do that if you like. We do have racers north of the border competing. So we got a couple of countries involved. It's not our fault that Lucas Oil drag racing is not the biggest thing going, on the continent of Africa or in Europe or whatnot. Johnny Lindbergh knew if he wanted to be a world champion, he came to the United States of America, and he did, and he accomplished that goal. So that's why we say won the world. Of the people on earth who care about this, he beat them all. World champ. That's my logic. Feel me? I think you do. Hey, I want to tell you about the folks at Larice Motorsports Insurance, guys. The Larice family did a service to the racing and drag racing community when they needed a product and it didn't really exist. You go out there, a lot of the major, like big time insurance companies where you see they've got literally billions of dollars in ad budget, and every other ad on cable TV has got a gecko or what is this? She a nurse? I don't really know. And they write policies. But do they truly know and understand what you're doing with your drag racing equipment? And that's the difference between Larice Motorsports Insurance. They are covering your race car, your trailer, your tools and equipment, your pit vehicles, your motor homes, all under one motorsports coverage policy. And when I brought Project Pontiac out into the world from the safety of my garage, I thought because I could never afford to just replace it. Like, whatever the number is, I couldn't just drop that responsibly. I would just have to, take it if something negative happened. And that's the whole point of having insurance. And so I reached out to the folks at Larice Motorsports Insurance. I learned about their policy. I got a policy before I took it out on the highway, and I feel much better. And in the time since then, you got to understand that a lot of these other insurance companies, there's gaps in coverage. There's pit area exclusions, like maybe no coverage at the racing facility. You got to check your policy if you've got one. There's key-on exclusions. Like, is it running? Are you warming it up in the morning? Is it running? You might have a gap in coverage the second it stops. Do you know about that? There are horsepower limits with some of those other policies, like horsepower. Like, oh, do you have over 600 horsepower? You're not covered. Sorry. Nitrous oxide exclusions, unnamed driver exclusions. Someone's warming up your car. Sorry. And I don't have to explain the details when you're dealing with the insurance industry. And that's why having racers who are covering their own vehicles, their friends' vehicles, write your policy is very important. So go to LariceMotorsportsInsurance.com to find out more, whether it's tools or pit vehicles or otherwise. They can walk you through it. And so go to Larice Motorsports Insurance. When you talk to somebody, tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio and that you're interested. I've heard nothing but great stories. I've got friends who have been through the process, unfortunately been through the process, but it has worked out for them in the end. And I hope to never use it. But at the end of the thought process, there's no way that I'm going to let something happen without having some coverage. So go to LariceMotorsportsInsurance.com. Reach out to Holden. Reach out to the guys. Each division has got someone who handles it, and tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. And while we're talking WFO sponsors, gaskets, a little less intense, is it? HusseyPerformance.net. David Allen and the team, Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, up there in Division 1. Not just quality copper head gaskets or copper gaskets anymore. They are doing composite gaskets for all types of engines. Big in the alcohol ranks, big in the nitro ranks, where gaskets are coming and going, and you need to have all kinds of gaskets. But even on your Lucas Oil Series car, reach out to the folks at HusseyPerformance.net. It's all made in America. It happens rapidly. They can ship them typically the next day. So it is a quick process. Reach out to David Allen, 412. Yeah, he gave me his number to give to you. 716-4872, HusseyPerformance.net. These sponsors, these people, these fellow racers are the reason I can do this show. You think about like how this happened, right? Like how is this guy, Joe Costello, able to do this? It is because of our fine sponsors, whether it be Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School and the Dragster Adventure, whether it be HusseyPerformance.net, Frank Hawley's, Marvin Rodak's, coffeeandgrills.com with the hot sauces and the spice rubs. If you love coffee, want to try the best coffee in the world, this is not just coffee. These are not your Folgers Crystals, guys. Rodak's coffee is best in the world, bar none. Get to it. 817-924-6821. Shout out if you don't have a can of Foggett in your trailer. My goodness. Go to summit-racingequipment.com. summit-racingequipment.com. Get yourself a can of Foggett and definitely support the people who support WFO Radio, Jesse Converters, and everyone. The 75th season of the NHRA is upon us. The people we're speaking with, like Bubba, we talk about the Lucas Oil Series as it's the backbone of NHRA drag racing, and it's not the series of the cars. It's people. His family brought him into the world of class racing. These amazing American muscle cars running under the strict rules of the NHRA, which are, class racing rules, as in it has to be factory parts, factory specs, factory pieces. How low can you go? How quick can you make it? How far under your index can you be? It's interesting to me about the transition from where we are now to where we will be with class racing. Can we, myself included, I don't have a class car. I couldn't even, I'm lucky to have a Super Street car. Can't have a class car. It's a big investment. It's expensive. Can we interest the next generation, the next wave, the junior dragster kids? Can we make them understand that it's not just going down the track that is the challenge? It is the build and the feeling how to learn to make more horsepower out of something. It's the genuine evolution of technology. And that's why these cars are getting faster and faster over time. It's an interesting story to follow. Truly. It's an interesting story to follow. And we will here on WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro. Your NHRA show, drag racing show. I'm here every week, multiple shows a week. We got our Parade of Champions going on and more champions to come, certainly, leading up to the start of the 75th season of NHRA. Hey, guys, if you want to support drag racing in general, NHRA drag racing specifically, make a plan to watch the Vice television network, and the show is called Chasing Speed. It's an inside look at the world of Mission Food Series drag racing, the behind the scenes, the everything we've always wanted, the thing that we think if people could see the behind the scenes, instead of that 10-second interview on the top end of the racetrack, like, hey, you just won the race. What happened? Oh, man, it was great. Back to you guys. No, the struggle and the strife and the anger and the profanity, the anger and the profanity. I think they're going to bleep stuff. But the real, the raw, the genuine Chasing Speed on Vice, beginning on Wednesday, January 21st. Hopefully this will air by that point. But every Wednesday following, leading into the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals. Bubba going to be there? I think Bubba's going to be there. New Jersey looked pretty cold. So why not come down to the East Coast opener of the 75th season of NHRA? Project Pontiac will not be there. We just had some great news in the world of Project Pontiac. I am planning on going to the Baby Gators, though. So that means 3 consecutive weeks on the road. If you like what you're hearing, you can always get some WFO radio swag, including the classic retro Miami Hollywood Speedway t-shirt. We got hoodies and all our designs on all kinds of gear. Really appreciate Bubba. Thanks to all of you. Remember, Life's a Drag, also on the WFO Radio Network. A lot of fun with those guys. Bubba Linke, world champion. Congratulations, Bubba. You did a great job. WFO.